All right, let's talk about Google's brand new AI tool. Something that's not just another chatbot, but is designed to act like a full-fledged member of your dev team. It's called Jules 2.0, and it's built to be your new favorite AI teammate.
You know, for anyone who's ever written a line of code, you totally get this feeling, right? You're bouncing between your editor, a dozen browser tabs, the terminal, Slack. It's a non-stop juggling act. But what if all that administrative overhead, just went away? What if you could just focus on the hard problems?
So, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the pains of the old way of coding. Then we'll meet your new AI teammate. After that, we'll look at its workflow, check out the brains behind the operation, and finally, show you how to get started.
Okay, so let's set the stage here. We're talking about all that grunt work in development. You know, the little things that just chip away at your day, and more importantly, your concentration.
I mean, this list probably looks painfully familiar. It's that awful feeling of having to set up your dev environment from scratch, hunting through endless tabs for the right documentation, or the endless back and forth of a simple code review. This isn't the creative, fun part of coding. This is the friction. And this is exactly what Jules 2.0 wants to solve. So this is where Jules comes in. And look, Google is making it really clear. This is not just another autocomplete tool. They're talking about a completely different way of thinking about AI help. Let's dig into what that actually means. The phrase you gotta remember is AI coding agent. See, when you give Jules a task, it's not just spitting back a code snippet. It literally clones your entire project, every single file, every dependency, into its own secure space. This gives it the full context, which lets it work on big, messy, complex problems all by itself.
And this right here is the biggest difference in how you use it. You're not having a conversation. You delegate. You say, hey, go update this dependency or go build out this new feature, and then you just go back to your own work. It's working in the background, like a real teammate. It's asynchronous.
So how does having this teammate actually make your day-to-day work smoother? Well, let's look at how it plugs directly into all those frustrations we just talked about. So you get all these upgrades baked right in. You can handle pull requests, you can take a perfect snapshot of your entire setup, you can adjust priorities with the team, and it can even surf the web for API docs for you, all in one place. No more juggling.
But okay, this one feature, this is a total game changer. Environment snapshots. If you've ever come back to a project after a week off, you know the absolute nightmare of trying to get everything working again. Jules lets you save a perfect snapshot and restore it instantly. And that's not just a nice to have. That can literally save you hours, maybe even half a day of lost productivity.
So what's the secret sauce? What is actually making Jules smart enough to handle all of this? Well, it boils down to two things that Google calls the critic and the brain.
This quote just nails what the critic agent is all about. It's an AI code reviewer, sure, but it's way more than a spell checker for your code. It's trained to spot performance issues, suggest better ways to do things, and flag logic that might break down the road. It's basically that high-level feedback you'd get from a senior engineer, except you get it in seconds.
And the brain making all this possible? Well, it's Google's top-of-the-line model Gemini 2.5 Pro. This is the engine that gives Jules the horsepower to understand massive code bases and execute these really complex tasks all on its own. Okay, so we know it's powerful, but how does it stack up against other AI tools you might already be using? And more importantly, how do you actually get your hands on it?
This comparison is super important. A lot of us use GitHub Copilot, which is awesome for getting code suggestions while you're typing. Jules, though, plays in a totally different league. Copilot is file level. Jules is project level. Copilot is real-time. Jules is asynchronous. Think of it this way. Copilot is your copilot, but Jules is more like an autonomous crew member.
The pricing is actually pretty interesting. What really stands out is that entry point. It's bundled into the basic Google One plan for just $2 a month, which gets you 15 tasks a day. If you need more power, the AI Pro plan gives you 100 daily tasks, and then there's an Ultra tier for big enterprise teams. And getting started? They've made it ridiculously easy. You just go to the website, sign in with your Google account, link it to your GitHub repo, and that's it.
You're ready to assign your very first task. Tell it to go fix a bug or add a small feature and just watch it work.
So, here's the big takeaway. The most important thing to grasp is this idea of an AI agent working alongside you, in parallel. It's a huge shift from AI as a simple suggestion tool to AI as a worker you can delegate entire tasks to. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on. When your AI is no longer just a co-pilot but a truly autonomous teammate, what does the future of building software and maybe the future of your team actually look like?